Well, here we are, day one of the Steamco Inspire Nation Rocket Kids UK Tour with National Careers Week and British Science Week. Well, good morning everybody. I'm Nick from Steamco and welcome to the Inspire Nation Tour. And what we're doing today is telling you all about the really important STEAM skills that you're going to need to get some of the fantastic jobs that are going to be coming around in the next few years. First, I want to tell you this amazing story about the Rocket Boys. Homer Hickam didn't want to be a coal miner. One night with his friends, he saw the Sputnik and decided to go out and make rockets. He ended up working for NASA. And that's what you can do if you follow your dreams, work hard and study those STEAM skills. Happy days travelling around the UK. Oh goodness me, I'd forgotten about that film. We did a tour of Britain. We ended up in Cornwall. Fantastic day there. We've been to Puffle, we've been to Stratton Junior School, we've been to a whole load of schools across the Bude area. Just brilliant to be back today. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Here we are in Northcote Beach. Happy days, farmer up there with his combine. Happy days last summer down here at Margaret's Caravan. We did a lovely little pop-up day there with Margaret last summer. Very, very special day, very, very special woman. Unbelievable, the warmth, the generosity that that lady brought to us as visitors, to every tourist coming into the area. There's a surfboard there, one of Roger Tait's surfboards actually with a Kerno flag on it. So we're going to be meeting up with Roger later on. We've got a whole day of activities here today. We're going to be doing a whole day of stuff. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's the UK Art Takeover. A lot of people say to me, what's this art thing all about? What is art? Well, art, very simply, is Margaret Frost. Art, very simply, is Roger Tao. Art, very simply, is Dan Wilkins from Land Meets Sea. Art, very simply, is everybody in Cornwall who welcomes people, who connects. Because art is what we call it when what we do connects us to somebody else. So you could be saying, well, art could be dressing up like Grace and Perry and chucking cakes around. Your art could be painting, as Franca's is. Your art could be photography, some fantastic photographers, professionals in Cornwall, as well as people with their iPhones and snapping on Instagram. Your art could be dancing, and I know down there at Mountsbay Academy, got a fantastic performing art facility down there. Your art could be design, like this wonderful designer here, Morag Myerscough, who did a fantastic billboard in Leeds recently to celebrate the carers, to celebrate creativity at this time. Your art could be DJing, and tonight we've got a fantastic DJ lined up. We're going to be DJing from, well, not from, but virtually from the beach house down here in Bude on the North Cornwall coast. So we'll be looking forward to that. We've just confirmed our DJ, and we've also confirmed Richard Ash as well. He's going to be playing later on. Your art could be fashion. Your art could be football. Let's get kids passionate about something, but let's teach them about the management. Let's teach them about the commercial side, the sports science, all the aspects. If they don't end up playing for their favourite team, it doesn't matter. We're going to be chatting hopefully to Dave Sargent, because his art is cooking. He's an utter legend. He's almost broken the internet with his stuff. And your art could be coding robots, coding computer games. And as you saw there, I'm doing a whole load of stuff, traveling around the country, doing the art of rockets, rolling up bits of paper, making rockets out of toilet rolls like that, or dynamite rockets like that, as you saw going off there at Bude Junior School. It's all about inspiring and connecting kids. Your art could be rockets like that, Elon Musk SpaceX. Your art could be Stephenson's rocket, the world's first passengers carrying steam train. But we know that the world's first steam train was designed by a Cornishman, Richard Trevithick, from down there in Redruth. He is the man that invented the steam engine. Let's not forget that. Even though it took the lads up in Shropshire in Ironbridge to build a boiler strong enough to take his pressure, because it's a collaboration. It's about everybody working together. So art is what we call it when what we do might connect us to somebody else. And today, as I said, is dedicated to a superhero. Today is dedicated to this wonderful lady, Margaret Frost, who made me personally, my family, my friends, everybody who's ever come to Cornwall, anybody who's ever gone to Northcote Beach down there by Puffle, very, very welcome with her cream teas. And today is dedicated to the memory of that wonderful woman who sadly passed away last summer. A massive loss to the community and to all who know her and who've ever met her and enjoyed her hospitality. But the vibe goes on. Margaret's spirit, her memory lives on in all of you down there in Widmouth, in Bude and in Northcote and in Coombe Valley. Margaret, I'm sure, will be with us today and would be loving this as much as any of you. There we are with a little art gallery we popped up. We did a pop-up and we filmed and recorded that, and we're hopefully going to show that later this summer with the blessing of her family, her daughter, a head teacher down in Croydon. So just wonderful. And we want to hear from people today. We want to hear from all of you today. If there's anybody in the community you know who is mad, not quite as mad as me, but maybe madder, M-A-D, making a difference. That's what we want to do. We want to find everybody today who's connecting their community, who's passionate about food or passionate about art or passionate about their creativity or passionate about community and connection. We want them on the show here today. We want to get everybody on. We're doing an extra long show today because this is a bank holiday weekend. We're not all flocking to the beaches. We're staying where we are. We're staying safe. We're protecting the NHS and we're saving lives by doing that. Do not come to Cornwall today. We are not there. It's pretend. I've even got a big sign. We are pretending, okay? We're pretending. We've got the technology because we're artists. Artists use the technology, they use creativity, they use the tools and tech, and they use the power of people. And that's what we're demonstrating today. Stay where you are. We're going to be going live all day today. We've got 10 o'clock, which is kind of like 10 minutes ago. I'm going to be cutting any minute now to Farmer Dan Wilkins, who's got some sheep, some little lambs lined up. So I promised you lambs, so we're going to have lambs. We're going to Franca just after that, and she's going to do an art workshop. We then want you to go away and do some creative stuff. At 2 o'clock, we're going to come back and see what you've done. We're going to give some I Love Art t-shirts away free for the best ones. If you want to be doing I Love Art t-shirts, go to our website and download this template. I Love Art template, fold it in half, draw your logo in the middle of there with a heart logo. Don't scribble on the rest. Take a selfie, send it in to us. And the best 3 today we'll print as t-shirts and send off to you in the post next week so you can wear them. And we're probably going to set that up on our shop and print them off for people who want theirs, because we want to set this country on fire. We want to start a creativity revolution. Chief Executive of the Arts Council, Darren Henry, a couple of years ago went to Sunderland. He said, let's start a creativity revolution, and that's what we're trying to do. But we can't do it on our own. We need you as well. So let's get involved. Let's get the whole country. And this is kicking off here in Cornwall, because it's the first day of a 9-day UK tour, which is the hashtag Get Creative at Home campaign, sponsored by Voluntary Arts and BBC Get Creative. So we're full on. We're on the BBC this morning with BBC Cornwall. Thanks to Martin for that. At whatever time it is, 12:20, I'm on BBC Somerset because we're in Glastonbury tomorrow. And then at 2:20, I'm in BBC Yorkshire. So we are absolutely rinsing it today. Stay in touch, stay involved, keep in touch with us here. So, phew, take a breath. What a lovely sight this is. What a lovely sight this is. A lovely, lovely sight. We have got sheep on the hills in Cornwall on the border here with Devon. And it's not all about seasides. It's not all about candy floss. It's about community. It's about industry. It's about standing tight, standing firm, so that when this virus lifts, when the lockdown lifts and it's safe to come back to Cornwall, everybody can come back to this area and support the economy. And we want you paying twice for your pints. We want you paying twice for your ice creams. We want you paying twice for your pasties, because you need to help regenerate this community. This is not a community that asks for charity. It's a community that will want you to pay for what they do for you. And Bude, there's no better place to be today. They've got a beautiful sea pool. It's a gastro centre of Cornwall. Now forget Padstow, all the tourists. Bude is where it's at. You've got the Temple. You've got a fantastic new cafe and bakehouse down there in the little industrial estate. You've got amazing stuff going on, so get yourself to Bude when it's safe to do so. And I'm going to get myself to Bude right now. I'm going to go live and direct to Farmer Dan. Let me see if we can get Farmer Dan up here. I've got to press some buttons here to make this happen. There he is, Farmer Dan. Can you hear us? Can
Yeah,
you? Yeah, hey, Farmer Dan, what have you got going on there? You got a little lamb on the go.
got three little lambs on the go here that are on the bottle at the moment, and we got one of last year's bottle lambs that we've kept hold of as a pet wandering around. So
Lovely.
we're
Wait, I can't quite see the lamb. Is that
unfortunately,
between your legs? Is that white fluffy thing between your legs? Is a lamb? Is it? Oh, there you go. I see it was sat on its back. The signal's not brilliant there, is it? That's one thing we need to do. We need
we've got a couple of bottles to feed them on as well. Know everyone about them.
Fantastic. Bring the lamb over. Let's have a closer look at the lamb. It's quite big. How old's that lamb there, Dan?
About 5 weeks old. Here they're all flocking over now.
How many have you
They
got?
are.
How many have you got there then?
Got three little lambs, and we got one from last year as well.
Oh, lovely. Look at that. Fantastic. So tell us what you've got a business called Land Meets Sea. What's that all about?
So so what we do is we started off primarily with the sheep business. Managing farms, decided it was a good idea to change things for ourselves.
The audio is not brilliant, Dan. We're dropping out. We might have to catch up with you at the shop later on. We're losing
Can you catch me? Can you hear me?
barely. You're dropping in and out. I'll tell you what, Dan, because I know your family have run a village shop, post office, fish stall, the hotel down on the bay there in the coast. Can we catch up with you a bit later on down there and have a better signal? Would that be all right?
No problem at all.
Okay, I'm struggling to hear you, but that's lovely. At least we've had some lambs. I did promise people lamb for breakfast this morning. Well, so a lamb feeding thing. Get the lamb up there one more time. Get the lamb up one more time. Can you hold it up a little bit? So I don't mean shouldn't be encouraging you to manipulate animals live. Oops, he's gone. Okay, well that was that. That was good. Wow. So you got your lamb. That's the lamb box ticked. So, gosh, Lamb Meets Sea. So if you want to check out Dan's work, Dan is a fantastic local guy. He's been a lifeguard, surf instructor. His mum Linda runs the local shop now. His grandma and granddad still very active and involved in that. And Beth runs the hotel and the beach bar. She's probably got the best location in the country for a bar. And what I don't get is why it's not absolutely mobbed every Saturday, Sunday night, all through summer. In fact, 7 nights a week in the summer. You will not get a better sunset spot. You'll never get better hospitality, better food or drink in that spot. It's just unbelievable. And I think, do you know what? I think if I've got a mission on this, it's to get Beth on the map. She should be knocking out CDs and mixes, and people should be paying £1, £5, £10 to sit and watch that sun go down. That's what we're going to do tonight. 7 till 12, we've just pushed it back till 12. 7 till 12, we've got a sundowner. On the most beautiful beach spot in this country, we're going to be watching the sun go down with Beth and her mum Jenny live at the beach house. But nobody will be there. You stay at home. We don't want you to be panicking. They're not. She won't be there. She'll be on Skype and she'll be in bed on Skype. Nobody's going to be there. We're going to do a virtual event to show you the beauty of Cornwall, to give you the vibes. But at 10 o'clock, we've just had this confirmed on a WhatsApp just now. Richard Ash, who's one of the most talented, versatile, multi-ability musicians in the country. Beautiful, beautiful music. Saxophone, keyboards, guitar, singing. He's going to do a live set 10 till 11. So you can binge on your Netflix all day, get that out your system, binge on your pot noodles and get yourself back here for 10 o'clock for that. But we are doing a chill out sunset set. We're going to be chatting to Beth and her mum. 3 till 5, doing this backwards on it, that's 7 till 12. 3 till 5, we have got a live Art Connect show, talking to local artists, local people making a difference, the Mad Cats, the MADers. So if you want to come in on that, let us know. Just put a message in the YouTube box below or the Twitter box. I am now going to go live to a fantastic woman, and that is Franca Westaway, who's one of the most talented artists I've come across, and she's done some beautiful stuff on Instagram, sort of daily sequence of stuff. I shouldn't sort of say too much because I know she's going to tell you all about it in a moment. We connect up with Franca now. Here we go. There we go. I can see Franca, so I'll just get it all right and then I'll press the right buttons to get it over to you. We're trying to be as professional as we can, but you know, it's not easy. You can't get the staff. So we've got, here we go. Okay, so we're all good to go. So let me just turn that off there. So if I press this button here, we should have Franca on the screen. Hello, Franca, I can see you. Can you see me?
Hi, Nick. Yes, I think I can. Yeah.
That's all good. Well, we can hear you. Can you hear us? That's the most important thing. Sounds like you can.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We got the Arts Council grant on Wednesday, and I literally didn't phone you up until yesterday or text you and say, hey, can you help us out? So you've been up all night with bits of cotton wool and all sorts of things, I think, haven't you? Tell everybody a little bit about you and your practice and your art and what you do.
Okay, well, I'm an art teacher, art educator. I run workshops, and I also teach adult ed for Cornwall and Devon, actually, right up from sort of preschool kids through to the elderly and people with all sorts of special needs and difficulties. And I also work as an independent textile designer. So I design and sell fabrics and prints for fabrics as well.
Because I've seen didn't you have a series on Instagram or Facebook where you're doing something different every day? Was that?
There's a thing that you can join in on Instagram called the 100-Day Project, and that's a good way for creatives to kind of boost their practice, I suppose, or anyone really. You can choose to do anything, but the idea is that you do something of that every day for 100 days. So a lot of creative people use that to kind of push themselves to explore new ideas or practices, or just get moving again with sketchbook work, you know.
I love those things. I don't usually get past day 3. How far did you get?
I think I got up to in the 50s.
Oh,
so.
I think I was going to say 100. Well done. You have got a husband in and a couple of daughters to kind of keep on the rails as well, haven't you?
Yeah,
wonderful.
Absolutely, yeah.
I must admit, as we were setting up earlier, I managed to catch a few snippets of your of where you are there, your studio come living room. Have you got any of your work to show us? Can you give us a quick skip round? Is that an option?
Okay, so I'll move this around a little bit.
Then.
So with my textile work, I usually start off with either photographs or drawings from mainly my garden and the kind of natural environment around me. I love plants and gardening and things. This dress I'm wearing is actually one of my prints, which I sold to Nomads Clothing, who are a Cornwall-based fashion company, fair trade company, and they buy prints from me, and this one was out last summer, so that's rather nice to wear some of my own print work.
That's called product placement. Have less of that. It's called product placement, free advertising. What do you like? What do you think this is? An Arts Council funded show?
Other fashion labels are available, and here are some of my own fabric designs. This one here, actually, I quite like this kind of what looks a bit like pondweed, which was actually started. I'll show you. Over here I've got can you see what I'm doing?
It's lovely.
I'll show
you
some of my sketches in a minute.
Yeah, brilliant.
I also make products, so I've got things like little kind of soft fabric bags. This one's got all my sewing kit in it, and they're great for things like makeup and pencil cases and stuff like that. One of my daughters is behind me and doesn't want to be seen. I make cushions and cushion covers, and I sell fabrics by the metre. I've got a few more over here, and this one here is one of my most popular ones. That's a kind of tropical print as well. So there's a little taster of my work.
Fantastic.
Is that enough of those?
No, it's absolutely lovely. I was just doing something else. I'm a bit of a rascal like that, so now I've got to hang on a second, because we're making this up as we go along. I've literally had a 10-day tour to organise with. I've got member staff now. We've got Malumba. We've hired Malumba. In fact, we might go to him in a minute actually and see what he's got to say for himself. Why is that all gone? Hang on a sec. I just want to pull this up again. It doesn't seem to want to let me. Come on. There we go. So if I press that button and that button and that button, we should we should have something. There we go. You've got legs now. You've got little lamb legs underneath you. So this is, I know what I was going to do. This is our what we call the Rocket Kids Club, and it's basically we want to create a place where now our kids are out of school, we've got them back. This is our chance to educate and inspire kids the way we believe they should be inspired and educated, and that's using creativity and the power of community. And the hashtag Rocket Kids Club we're building as a safe place for kids and their creative carers to be inspired, to create and to share. Now we say creative carers because if you say parents you have to say then carers, and we say creative carers because some kids haven't got parents. Some people have got parents but they're busy, or they've got busy parents who are juggling 3 0-hour contract jobs, or their parents are working in the cities, they're too busy to be parents. So we want to connect kids with creative carers like you, because you care about creativity, I imagine. you care about kids, and you care about all our futures. So we want to build a Facebook type product. In fact, we have. Grandad Pete up there in Liverpool's built us a system and got it all going. And we're looking for 100 kids who want to sign up to be members, test pilots of this thing. We've been offered a Rubik's Cube for everybody. We're going to teach them how to do the Rubik's Cube, so the art of Rubik's Cube. We're going to get robots, we're going to get t-shirts, we're going to really create some buzz. And that's a test for about 2 weeks for 100 kids to check it works, and then we're going to unleash it on the country, if not the world. So that's what the Rocket Kids Club. So this is the Rocket Kids Club Hour. And you are our Rocket Kids Club art teacher, Franca, whether you like it or not. So what we need you to do, we want you to now put your teacher hat on and imagine that you've got 1, 2, 5,000, 3,000, a million kids watching you now, hanging on your every word. And we want you to give them a little activity that's vaguely something to do with what we've done today. And I know we did this on the hop. I don't know if you've had any ideas. And if you had any time, you might just want to do some floral prints and get some cheap sweated labour for your next collection. I don't know. But can I leave it with you for about sort of 15, 20 minutes to do an activity and give the kids something to do. And then what we'll do is at 2 o'clock, we'll trawl the internet, like Carl the fisherman up there in Widmouth Bay with his lobster pots. We'll trawl the internet for the hashtag Art of Bude, and everybody who's tagged something on the Art of Bude, we'll look at it, we'll pick it up, and then we'll do some free t-shirts for those guys as well. So we'll look at those at about 2 o'clock. So are you all right for about 20 minutes? Will I go and have a cup of tea?
Don't leave
I
me.
won't. Don't worry. I'm only joking. I wouldn't
yeah,
dare.
I'll get something done. I'm
I'll
going
leave
to
you to
hand
it.
the camera over to my glamorous assistant, who obviously won't be on screen, and hopefully she can help show people what I'm going to do. So
Fantastic.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're going live. Okay, so I was thinking about the
So you're doing clouds, are you? It's a cloud thing, is it? I'm joking.
What do you mean?
I'm only joking. I'm just taking a look out of your lovely sheep. It looked like clouds for a moment, but I've focused now. Sorry, I'll let you get on with it, Franca. Sorry.
When I was doing this stuff last night, when I started doing it, I was thinking actually you could do a cloud project in a very similar way. So
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have thrown you off like that. I'll let you crack on.
It's fine. So first thing I did was, and what I do often when I'm making art at home is kind of look around for what I've got with me. And I know I've got a massive store cupboard full of art equipment and things that I can use. But I know a lot of people don't have that. And actually, it's really nice to be able to make art at home and get creative with whatever you might have to hand, really. So often I recycle things, and I keep a lot of waste things that I probably should put out for recycling, but I keep stuff. For instance, this bit of card that I'm using today, this white card that I'm drawing on, is actually a wrapper from some stuff that we gave one of my daughters for her birthday. I keep cereal boxes as well, because that kind of thin but fairly durable cardboard is really great for cutting out, and on the back of that's always plain, so that's good for making stuff with and building and drawing on and painting on. So that's another resource I use. For some of the stuff I've done today, I've used, I might use white tissue paper, but if you don't have tissue paper, you could also use things like kitchen roll or even toilet roll to do some of the stuff we're doing as well. So whatever is to hand, get creative, use your imagination. So I was thinking about the lambs and the sea, and walking around this area at this time. We've got a dog, so I have to go out once a day at the moment to walk her, and there are loads of sheep with their lambs that are growing up in the fields around us, and they're amazing little creatures. So I thought I'd do some kind of sheep art. Now, starting off, let's start off with just a really simple drawing activity. On this sheet of card, you can obviously use paper, but on this sheet of card, I've drawn some shapes that look a bit like clouds here. I've even just drawn some ovals and a circle as well. And then I'm simply going to doodle and play around with filling those in terms of being woolly, you know, possibly the body of a woolly sheep. Now on the sheep at the top here, I've drawn that with its face already on it, but I've also drawn some heads of sheep separately, and I might cut those out to go onto the bodies that I'm then going to draw and colour in. So let's start with this one up in the top corner, which is just done with spirals. So we're thinking about all the lovely wool that is growing on the sheep. And I've drawn a simple cloud shape, and I'm literally going to start filling that in with big spirals. I'm using a Sharpie here. If you've got a nice thick black fibre tip pen, that'd be a really good thing to use. If you haven't, even a biro would be quite good for this. I wouldn't bother with pencils. You want to go straight to black and whites. Doodling, nothing is going to go wrong. Nothing can be wrong when you're doodling. It's just whatever happens. So I'm literally going to fill this sheep's body in with loads of spirals. There's a little gap there, so we'll put a little one in. I'm going to cover that whole body with spirals. And once I've done that, I can cut that out in a minute and put some heads, a head on it and some legs on it as well. I'm going to finish this one off. Are you all right with your arm for the camera?
It's shaking.
You can swap hands if you want.
I have.
Okay. So, going to carry on. Big spirals, small spirals. One thing I quite like about doodling when you get into it is that you can just kind of let it go where you want to. I even quite like feeling the way my hand's moving when I doodle, so that might affect what I do when I'm doodling. So I've just done all these lovely swirls for this sheep's body, and on another one I might move my hand differently. And when you're doodling, actually the way that your hand's moving will affect the marks that you make. So let's try something different. So I'm still thinking about wool and texture and fluffiness and things. So I'm going to try moving my hand differently. So I'm kind of squiggling. I've lifted my hand up and I've put the tip of the pen down onto the page, and I'm just kind of squiggling it around and jumping it around, and I'm just trying to get some really textural marks going on. And that's a very different feel. Doing these loops felt all sort of soft and calm, and doing this feels like something that's all kind of jumping around. So okay, so I'm going to just hold the camera as well here. There's some there, look. So skittering around. Sit down, sit down. So skittering around on the page here. Making very, very different marks. Okay, and I'll carry on and do that as well. Bear with me, guys. My camera person is feeling faint, so I'm just going to see if I can get a bit of help for her.
Well, hang on. Faint, did you say?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my daughter's just sat down feeling very faint and woozy, and she looks like she's going to pass out, actually.
Is that the first sort of half hour's work she's done in this sort of lockdown? Is it? Is it teenage-itis by any chance? Do you think, or is she? I shouldn't make light of this, should I? I hope she. If you need to.
No,
stop,
indeed.
If you need to stop,
I'm just wondering if you can give Dad a shout.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you still see what I'm doing?
We absolutely can. It's wonderful. Seriously, if you need to take a breather to look after your daughter, please.
That's fine. That's fine. There are other adults in the house. So okay. So you can see I've made some really different marks there just from changing the way that my hand is working. And then if we go over and look at this one here. I think my daughter's fine now. She's gone off to get some air. So this one I'm basing more on sort of Zentangle doodling, and I'm just kind of making sort of weird and wonderful patterns, and there's no plan for this, but I think once it's done it's still going to look kind of interestingly sheepy. This is your crazy sheep. This is the one that doesn't fit the norm, the one that's bleating loudly in the field. And I'm thinking about sort of circles and dots, and you can see I've used kind of scratchety, scribbly marks here as well. And I can fill in this whole sheep just with patterns and designs and random doodling. Now, the lovely thing about doing this sort of Zentangle style doodling, Zentangle's where you just sort of fill spaces with flowing, interesting patterns that kind of emerge from your mind. You can look all this stuff up on things like Pinterest as well and get ideas for mark making. You might look around you. For instance, I've got a Pritt stick in front of me and I can see a kind of ellipse at the top of it, and I could use just that visual stimulus to give me ideas for shapes that I'm going to put onto my doodling. And I've got some scissors as well, so I might do some sort of scissory shapes. I'm literally letting my mind kind of wander as I go. All right. On this sort of doodling as well, I kind of want to think about balances between black and white. You can see that the Sharpie is really good for doing that, but any kind of chunky black pen is quite good. And the reason I like doing this sort of stuff with biros as well, and I encourage loads of people, have a go drawing and doodling with biros. There's nothing wrong. There's never going to be anything wrong about what you do, so you don't need to think about rubbing out or changing anything. And with something like a biro or a felt tip pen, you can't rub out or change it. So that's quite a good way of working. Okay, so I will fill up that sheep, and when I've done all of these bits of work, I would cut out the bodies, cut out the heads, stick the heads on, and stick on some legs as well. Right. Can you hear me still?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, great.
It's a good job you didn't ask me. I just had to run downstairs and get something. So yeah, you got me just right.
Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple of other ideas for working as well, because you may have other equipment at home. You may have other materials that you can use. So I've just got another camera person arrived on the scene, so you might want to come around here. So that's good, because I need both hands to show you the next bit. There we go. You've got to make sure you're not covering the microphone, so hold it kind of like I am. Okay. Right, you need to be able to, we need to see this. Okay, where it was is fine, up above. Okay, so the next thing I've done, I've got some black card, any coloured card or paper that you've got, and I've got all sorts of different materials here. I collected some white tissue paper. This is actually some packaging out of a shoebox, white tissue paper that often comes in things. This sheep here is made out of chopped up kitchen roll, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And this one here is done with chalk on black paper. I'm going to show you that one now. And I've also got another black sheep here, and that's actually cut out from some paper that I've saved that comes, I buy toilet rolls that get delivered online, and they come wrapped in paper to save on plastic packaging, and the paper has got loads of really funky designs on it, so I always save the papers. Here's some good ones for sheep. That's
really lovely. And we've got people watching on Twitter, on Periscope here. We've got Firkin Merthyr Lodge, whoever that is, and Game Engine. So we've got some people on Twitter looking. Everybody's loving this, Franca. It really is wonderful.
Fantastic.
Really
yeah. So again, I'm really encouraging you to get creative. Think about materials, even waste things that you've got around your house that you can use to do this. I've stayed with a black and white theme, in case you haven't noticed. Very handy for sheep. So let's go back and look at this chalk one. Any coloured paper that's fairly dark will do, but obviously I've got a bit of black here. And again, I'm going to make a sort of cloud-like shape with the chalk, and I'm just going to start filling that in with spirals. Now, what I might want to do actually is work out where I want the sheep's head to be first, okay? And to draw the sheep's face and head, you need to draw a kind of oval like an egg shape somewhere on the body like that. And then it's going to have a couple of ears sticking out from its face like that. Nice starey eyes, 2 big circles for eyes, and I might give it a little nose down there as well. Okay, so I've worked out where the head is, and I'm literally going to carry on drawing some spirals. Again, if I want to, I could get doodly with this one as well. It doesn't always have to be spirals. I can make some textural marks. You might even want with chalk and pastels, if you've got access to things like that. It can be really nice to even do some smudging with your fingers and vary the kind of textural outcome. Okay, so again, that sheep can get filled up like this one is. I'm going to finish this one off live with you. Finish the swirls here. Cut that out. And what we'd like you to do, whatever sheep you're creating, there's my one made out of, I literally cut the cloud shape out, the body shape out of the sheep there. I drew the face onto a bit of scrap white paper with a biro. I cut out some other black card and stuck the legs on. So I'm sticking these together with any kind of glue stick that you might have. If you haven't got any glue at home, you could even mix a little bit of flour and water together to make a gluey paste. So if you want to do any sticking, that's a way to do that. Whatever sheep you make, cut them out, get them to stand up. If you can photograph them on a green background like this and send those photos into us, then Nick's going to be able to incorporate those into a kind of live animated video scene of real sheep and lambs in the fields as well. So if you can take pictures on green backgrounds, I've got a bit of card here. You might have
we could try that now if you like, Frank. Actually, can you hold that in the middle of the screen and fill the screen with it? And I've got to get rid of myself, because what I've got to do, I've got to press some buttons on here. I'll show everybody what we've got here. Actually, we've got a fairly fancy Vision Mixer. This is the box of tricks. We're doing everything on here if anybody's into the tech. In fact, well, I might as well show you everything. Actually, we've got 3 computers over there which I bought off Skype, bought off Gumtree, quite cheap. So there's 3 computers there. Frank is on the first one here. You can just see her on there. That's the second person that's currently playing some C sound effects. The one at the back is our streamer. And then there's another laptop here, which has got the PowerPoint on it. And then there, that is the box of, well, I might as well show you everything. And over there, like, you see that camera over there? That camera's filming me. And over there is a television, which is what I keep looking at, because that is where I know what's going on. So you can see that Frank is on number 6. The laptop's on 3, picture of Glastonbury on number 4, and that's my Vision Mixer. So that's and I'm doing all this on my own because I've got 2 teenage boys and obviously they're still in bed. So that box there is my mixer. I've got I've got 6 mice here. This is I'm gonna have to number them. Anyway, so what I've got to do, I've got to press the button. So you're on number 6. So I've got to change the color key over key. So I have to press that button there and say go to number 6. Okay, so that should work actually, because it's set your green screen. Can you turn it the other way around, Frankie? You've got it on portrait at the moment.
Okay.
That's it. You have to turn the camera, probably not the picture.
No, I did turn the camera.
Okay, the camera didn't turn for some reason. Do that again. Just keep doing it, because sometimes it doesn't click, does it?
Well, hang on, let me see.
Turn your camera around again. Are you turning the camera or the picture when you do that?
So I've tried both. Now I've just turned the camera.
And you're holding the camera. But hold the camera vertically when you turn it, because I think it needs to be vertical, upright when you're turning it, and then turn it flat to film it. Maybe you are. Oh, you are. Okay. Flip. It's a bit annoying when the phones don't flip, isn't it? You feel like banging it or something. I don't know if banging helps in situations like this. So,
turn it off and on again, but that wouldn't work for this situation.
So that's. It worked earlier, didn't it? Keep turning your camera kind of 90 degrees portrait. You might have it upside down, because I think there's a way you can actually have your phone upside down as well, so it doesn't recognise the...
Right, hang on a minute. I'm turning it the other way.
That's it. Right, okay, we've got your full screen now. Actually, not quite full screen. Move it so you probably can't see what you're filming, can you?
No, I can't, because I've had to turn the camera around again.
Yeah, so. Okay. Oh, maybe that doesn't... That'll do for the moment. Okay, so I'm going to find a picture of. I'm going to find the video of Dan and his sheep again. So here we go. I've got a video coming up. Okay, turn that music down because I can hear the audio from. Here we go. I've got a video. Oh, is that you or is that me? No, it's my laptop. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so I've now got video running on my computer, so I can put that. Come on. Right. Okay. So we've now. Oh, not that one. That one. We've now got a field full of sheep, and in theory, I should be able to. Okay. Doesn't seem to be taking the green out. Let's see if I've got these buttons pressed properly. And hang on a sec. That should work. I'll just try.
I'm going to try
It is
green background
working.
if you
No, it's working. It's working. Hold it a little bit lower. A little bit lower. No, not closer. Further away, if any, slightly, but low, so the camera goes up towards his head.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That's it. Oh, that's lovely. So your sheep is now on the field, with all Dan's sheep running around, and they're wondering.
That's like the great sheep goddess in the sky, isn't it?
Absolutely. So what we'll do is we'll get a few of these, and we'll stick them in. We'll do some video editing. I'll show everybody how to do a little video at 2:00 where we'll edit them, and they'll all be big and small. We did it the other day with the Titanic and lots of little boats floating around with the Titanic.
Fantastic.
Okay, take that down.
Do you want any more sheep craft ideas? I've got a couple more.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm loving it. I can't get enough of your creativity this morning, Franco. This is wonderful.
Okay, so I'm going to hand the camera back to my glamorous assistant. Hopefully you'll be able to see what we're doing.
Oh, Ian's up, isn't he? Ian's
okay,
up
so
there.
that's working on different coloured cards. This one. So these are all flat. So you can draw, you can cut and stick. This one, like I say, is made with kitchen roll, and I've literally cut strips. I'll just show you. So here's some kitchen roll. I literally, again, you might not have tissue paper, so I cut the kitchen roll into strips like this, and then once I'd got quite a few strips, because some people don't really like drawing. Some people do like doing things with their hands that are more kind of dexterous, more manual. So I cut this into strips. You don't even have to do it neatly. You can just cut randomly. So I made a big pile of little snipped bits of kitchen roll. Again, you could do this with loo roll if you wanted to. And then once I'd got those, I covered the surface of the paper or card in a bit of glue, and I literally kind of sprinkled those on and stuck them down. So that's my kitchen roll sheet. Now, again, all of those are fairly flat, and some people like doing things differently to that, like making things three-dimensional. So, obviously, we couldn't make sheep without thinking about using some cotton wool somewhere. So, this one is literally a toilet roll inner that I've covered in Pritt stick, and then I've torn up. I didn't have any cotton wool balls, so I had to tear up some cotton wool sort of sheet that I had, and I've literally torn that up into chunks, cut out a little black shape for its head, which I've also stuck another little bit of cotton wool on, and then I've made a three-dimensional sheep. And again, that could be photographed on a green background. Obviously, I've got to work out how to make legs. I might make little black card tubes to stick on it, because I think that would help it stick up, stand up. So, and I could even just put it there.
Toilet rolls are very lock-in, aren't they, as well?
Yes, absolutely. You might have spare toilet rolls at home that you can use to do this with.
Make a giant
so I could
sheet.
even just put this on the surface here and kind of add some little cut card legs in. So they don't even, it doesn't actually even need to be able to stand up. It could just have its legs on the surface like that. But I'd quite like, because this is three-dimensional, I'd quite like to make some tubes of card to make that stick up. And another one, I found this idea on Pinterest, and I thought it was brilliant. I made some homemade popcorn last night. You can buy ready-made, but you can also buy little kind of yellow kernels of corn, from most shops, and making homemade popcorn is a really brilliant thing to do. And then this is literally put into a small plastic bag, and again I've upcycled. I had a bit of a plastic bag from something that had arrived in the post, and I've cut out enough of that to make a small plastic bag, sellotape that up, put the popcorn inside, and then stuck on a sheep's head and a couple of legs on there. And the good thing about this is once you've done your photograph, you can sit down and eat it while you watch the live stream later on today. So those are a few 3D ways that you could make a sheep as well.
Wonderful. I'm just finishing something off. Can you talk for another 3 minutes?
Okay.
Ian,
does it still have to be
you're not
about
supposed to
sheep?
laugh. If you're in the back, can you just tell Ian if he's in the background, he's supposed to keep quiet and not laugh at me at my incompetence.
It's hard, Nick. It's hard.
I've seen him with a hammer and electric drill. You should try this, mate. I tell you.
So I will talk for 2 or 3 more minutes. The main thing I want to encourage in people is to just sit down and have a go at something. And what I've tried to show here as well is that everybody likes to do things in a different way. That's what creativity is. I can give you some ideas here today and show you sort of ways that you might like to start working. But the most wonderful thing about creativity, as far as I'm concerned, is that those are really what I'm giving you in terms of skills or ideas for how to do something in practice are really just the building blocks for you to take on and do and make things in the way that you want to. So I wouldn't want everyone to make a sheep that was exactly the same as one that I've done. I think show me how you make sheep, and maybe draw it, maybe cut and stick it, maybe make something 3-dimensional. Perhaps you've got other ideas of materials and ways that you could do this in your house. I mean, as I'm sat here thinking, I'm also thinking, what else would we have in the house that could make something fluffy like this? And I was even wondering about whether I could cut open an old pillowcase and take the kind of fibre wadding out of the back of it, and that might be something. I'm going to turn this camera around actually so that I can speak to it now, so thank you to my slightly less glamorous camera person there. Yeah, that's really what I would like to encourage, is that you go off and think, how do I want to make a sheep and what do I like doing? Maybe you could even make some salt dough. There are lots of recipes for that online, just using flour and salt and various other things that you can find in the kitchen. Maybe you want to bake a meringue sheep. Yeah. How are you creative and what can you think up to do? So, and how can you take the ideas that I've given you for making stuff and make a sheep that's unique to you? Because creativity is all about expressing and being exactly who you are, and that's what I love about teaching art, and that's what I want to encourage in everybody. It doesn't even matter. A lot of people stop doing art when they're quite young because they think, oh, I'm not very good at drawing, or they've been told that at some point, I can't draw something to look really realistic and therefore I'm no good at art. But being creative and being artistic is really just about expressing yourself in any medium that you feel comfortable with. So yeah, go for it.
Well, your daughter's obviously very lucky with such a creative mum as you. I mean, what would your advice be to parents who feel a bit intimidated? There you are wearing your own fabric designs. My goodness, you are up there. You're super creative. What's your advice to parents who don't feel that they are creative?
Well, I think the internet and the library and books and people around you are all wonderful resources, and that there are really, really simple ways that you can get being creative and doing things. You can look on YouTube, you can look on Pinterest. There are loads of great blogs and websites. There are really brilliant books. Schools often have lots of ideas and worksheets and resources that they can give to people. So yeah, don't feel afraid. I would suggest get some simple resources into your home. Get some drawing crayons, get a Pritt stick, a glue stick, scissors, paper, and get out there and, just try things, do things. If you sit down and do that stuff with your kids, what I find often if I run workshop sessions in the community or family learning workshops is that the children will very easily and quite naturally come and go to the activity in their own pace. It's the adults who often will sit and work for hours doing something, and they'll be quite surprised and kind of go, wow, I haven't done anything like this for years. I really, really enjoyed doing that. So it doesn't matter what it is. It might be doodling, it might be cutting stuff out, it might be cooking. Sing while you do it, put music on. Maybe if you put some music on, it becomes it's less about outcome and more about doing. Allow the outcome to be what it is. Kind of go, wow, look what's emerged from me today.
That's very, very, very good advice. Very good advice. I just had a bit of a thought, actually. Just said something that made me think. Let's see if I can get, let's have a look here. Let's see if we can connect. Fun enough, you just made me think of something. I'm going to see if they're on Skype as we speak, actually. Let's see if we can get them up. That'd be a laugh, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. All goes very quiet. All goes quiet. So that was wonderful. So did you study at art college or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do art. I studied fashion at college. I went from school to do A-level art and art history. I've always loved art. I mean, when I was younger, partly I loved doing it because it seemed just like fun compared to most of the other lessons that we had to do. The idea that when I did my fashion degree, the idea that I felt like I was getting a degree in colouring in and drawing, and what's not to like about that, So, but obviously, I think there's an awful lot to think about and a lot to explore and a lot to kind of inspire you in creative work. Looking at work from other artists, going to galleries and getting involved in events, even some of the stuff that's inspired me most in life is art that I've seen that I've found quite weird or shocking or alien. And I mean, I like things to look beautiful, and artwork that doesn't look beautiful or kind of appealing has seemed inaccessible at times. But once you start to explore that and understand people's motivations, it's fascinating. It's like being given a window into someone's mind or soul, and it's that stuff that kind of goes beyond my comfortable boundaries that I find really interesting. Who are you? Who are you in the world?
Well,
how can you
that's
give that?
That's lovely. We were in Cardiff the other day and I was chatting to in Belfast talking to a designer. She said at a time like this with the coronavirus, she's actually reconnected with her creativity and she's using it as a bit of an escape from the isolation and the lock-in and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking today about art, the art of beauty. We're talking about art as being whatever we call it that connects us to somebody else. So your art is textile design. There's a weird noise here. There's a bit of a slapping noise in the background. I'm not too sure what is that at your end? Have you got somebody slapping?
No.
Is that Ian putting a shelf up or something?
No, nothing going on at this end.
You talked about it's very annoying. We're trying to get the technology. We've got these buzzes and hums, and then every once in a while it sounds like somebody's getting their leg slapped. I don't know what's going on. We were talking. Hang on, this is very strange. We were talking earlier about art, the art of painting. What is that Ian making that noise, Franca? What is going on?
No, nothing coming from my end.
Nothing
here,
your end.
Nick,
We must have a cross line. I don't know what the phones are like. Oh, hang on. I've sussed it. We've got this clown on the screen. There he is, Dave Sargent. What are you up to? Well, you got a clown. What are you dressed up like that for, Mr. Sargent? What are you doing?
You're calling me a clown?
So we're trying to.
I've been trying to avoid you all morning.
I know you have been. We're trying to do a serious art show here, and we're talking about the art of photography, art of dancing, DJing, painting, textile design, and you come on slapping a bit of burger. What's going on? What are you up to there?
I'm making up a couple of burgers for someone for later.
Wow, check you out.
You're interrupting my craft.
It's good to know you're doing a day's work, sir. Anyway, so what is your plan today? Because I've heard actually you tried to break the internet the other week with your Facebook cookery courses. Did you get
the internet broke?
Did you get any complaints? Because I know there's a big cable that comes up on a beach near there. We can't mention where, and it was bulging with internet traffic watching you on Facebook. Apparently, is that right?
Exactly. It's all down to me.
So we got.
So I'm doing some. I'm just doing a little bit of prep today for a family that want me to cook some food and basically leave it out for them so it's hot, so they can collect and they can eat themselves.
Oh, that's a great idea. So like a bit of a treat for them, is it of some sort? Or are they just quite a
so
posh family, or?
Yeah, so it's a surprise anniversary treat for someone.
Wasn't that lovely? Because I think everybody's partner or whatever is getting totally fed up of cooking. So so you're offering that as a service, are you? You're cooking meals for people and leaving them under the hedge somewhere, or?
Yeah. So I can cook meals, take them around. Usually it has to be chilled and then they reheat. But because it's for a family that live literally on site where my kitchen is, because it's not a domestic kitchen, it's a commercial kitchen, I'm leaving it out for them, so there's no contact, they won't see me even leave it there. They'll come in, I'm going to text them when the food's done and they come in and collect it well away from me.
And you're not just nipping in the co-op and getting something and tipping it into one of your Tupperware boxes.
I'm not supposed to tell them that.
So word is you do a regular thing on a Saturday. Are you doing that today?
No, so it just depends. So I do a Facebook Live every day, 4 o'clock.
Oh, every day is it? Right, okay.
Literally, I've been doing it so it'll be 43 days today.
Wow. Okay, so you're doing one today. Could we drop? We've got a show from 3 till 5. Could we drop in on you, sort of 4:10, just to see what you're up to, just to see if it is real?
Of course you can.
And check it out.
Drop in. You can see what we're doing. I'll have someone actually filming properly then.
Oh right, fantastic. What are you doing today out of interest?
Just doing a nice phyllo spinach mushroom feta tart. I've done loads of stuff, from chocolate mousse to, what did we do yesterday? We did a frangipane tart yesterday.
And just in case anybody wants to check you out, what's your website address so people can go and sort of get a feel for the vibe?
So it's chefsargent.co.uk, or just Google Dave Sargent Chef Service.
And how do you spell Sargent? Because I always get it wrong. I can never find you.
That's all right. Sargent.
That's how you do it, isn't it? So we'll drop in on you about 4:10 later on then, Dave.
Amazing. How's it all going there?
Yeah, well, I haven't got a clue, mate. I'm just standing here looking at a camera and a dusty old wall. We'll hopefully get some feedback.
Living the dream.
I'm living the dream. It's a rock and roll life, isn't it, on lockdown? What I just want to say is tonight we're doing a virtual sundowner session at the Beach House from 7 till 10. We've got a DJ, one of Joss Ash's boys is DJing for us. He's doing a Cafe Del Mar, Cafe Mambo, chilled out vibe. Then we have managed to get Richard Ash, so he's coming on live at 10 for an hour. He's going to play saxophone, guitar, keyboards. That's going to be amazing. And then we're going to have an hour of DJ knees up stuff, and then get an early night, I think, for tomorrow, because we're in Glastonbury. How does that sound like a day for you? Fancy some of that?
That sounds amazing. I'm there.
All right, chat. We'll put word out. Share the hell out of this. Let's get this absolutely pumping. We're going to meet some artists between 3 and 5. Come back to you at 4:10, and we'll see you in the mosh pit tonight. Thank you, Dave Sargent. Shout out.
You're a star, Nick.
Bless you.
Take care, mate.
Love you to see you. Take care, mate. Bye bye. Love you too. Well, that was nice. Sorry about that, Franca.
Okay.
I did wonder what was going on, all those sound effects. So how can people find out more about your work in the interim?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram as Franca Westaway 23, and I've got a webpage, francawestaway.com. So you can look me up. Again, if you just Googled my name, you'd come up, you'd see my website there. And I also do, as I say, quite a lot of teaching in the community, various ways. Look out for me in and around Cornwall and Devon as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. That was a lovely session, and I know that it's been retweeted. There's a fantastic group of artists in the Northeast, Neaton, Northeast Arts and something or other, TM, Tyneside and whatever. Susan Coles and Marie up there, they've been sort of retweeting it and sharing it. And the good thing about this, it doesn't matter how many people watch now, it all goes onto YouTube, all goes onto Facebook and onto Twitter, so people can look back. Later today, Malumba in our office, in our production team, he'll be bookmarking it all, so people can just jump straight to the bits that you've done. Going to be great. So what a fantastic day. So we'll catch up with you about 2:00, have a quick look at what people have been up to.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Send me pictures of what you've done on the green background, William. We'll do a little quick video job with those. I am live on BBC One something or other at 2:20, so we'll probably either keep it short or might just go live to the BBC actually within that broadcast. That'd be fun for all the kids. And then back at 3. So thank you so much, Franca. You've been wonderful.
Bye. Nice to see you.
Right, and relax. See you. Wow, so that was fantastic. Look at that. So Franca Westaway, wonderful workshop, really, really lovely. Celebrating the creativity, celebrating the community, celebrating the breadth of passions, of buzz of personalities down there in Bude in Cornwall. A couple of years ago, actually, I had a lovely time, a lovely, lovely day at this school. This is I forgot the name of the place. It's that place just on the back of the road that comes down from Red Post to Launson. It will come Whitston. This is Whitston Community School. A day we did here, sponsored by Google, on the Code Week tour. Great feedback from the parents, and it's lovely to get the parents involved. Yes, that was a dynamite
It's been an
car.
absolutely fantastic day. We're in a very isolated area of North Cornwall, and the children don't get opportunities like this. It's really raised their aspirations and their horizons, I think. It's certainly opened their ideas to how technology could be used in the future.
Utterly priceless. Look at this little girl's face. Look at this little girl's face. Priceless moment. Wow.
So having a 3D printer in school was absolutely a fantastic opportunity for the children. Having the virtual reality and the 3D camera, superb, really opened the children's eyes to what can be done with technology.
That was really good fun. Yeah, it was excellent, the kids loved it, brilliant.
And it's so exciting to have it in such a tiny school in the back end of Cornwall.
It's nice to see something, give the kids a bit more imagination, something to look forward to, a bit of excitement and something for the future that they can look at.
We like originality, creative expansion of the imagination. It's very important. So thank you very much.
Really delighted to deliver that at Whitston Community Primary School there in North Cornwall, just on the border between Devon and Cornwall, on the right side, or so the left side, depending on how you look at it. Really lovely to work with those guys there. Sponsored by Google. Google gave us a grant for that. Google for us is a very interesting company. We see them as a company of artists, because art is about creativity and expressing ourselves and coming up with new ideas, and problem solving. Art is about tools or technology or code or paint or fluffy bits of cotton wool or toilet rolls. Art is about people, so it's creativity, it's tools, and it's people, and that's why we celebrate art, and that's why we want to connect our kids with their art, and that's what this tool even is all about. The UK Art Takeover, sponsored by the Arts Council with funding from the National Lottery, so thank you for paying your lottery. Absolutely fantastic. Today we're in Bude, tomorrow in Glastonbury, next week we're in Bradford, Leeds, Bradford's the week after, Leeds, Isle of Wight, Ludlow, Shropshire, Oxford and London. You think I'd have written it up to save having to memory it, wouldn't you? So that's all next week, but today we're in Bude. So we've just had a fantastic workshop with Franca there, with the Rocket Kids Club. We are then having a review at 2 o'clock, just a 20-minute show. I'm live on BBC Somerset and BBC Yorkshire. Then 3 till 5 we're going to be talking to local artists. And then tonight we're smashing it down at the Beach House, but we're not really at the Beach House. Every time I say that I have to get the sign out. It's just pretend, everybody. We're pretending. Do not come to Cornwall. We are pretending to be there. We're doing it with the power of technology, creativity and people, because that's what art is all about. Brought to you by the Arts Council and LGFL, our sponsors, London Grid for Learning, which is a company that does internet connectivity for London schools, but they're now branching out across the country and are supporting schools with their creativity, their tools, their content. Fantastic. So we're here because of them and the Arts Council. Tonight, 7 till 12, we're smashing it in a virtual beach house sundowner. 7 till 10, one of Joss Ash's, one of the world's, Europe's best surfers. He's put us in touch with one of his mates who's a surfer, a DJ J, there we go, I wonder if he's changed his name, DJ J. So he's going to do some DJing for us. We've actually got some DJ gear here actually, so we may even do a little set, might even let us have to ask if we can do a set here, because we've got some DJ gear here in the studio. So if anybody wants to learn to DJ, we'll do some DJing later on. And then we've got Richard Ash, really excited about this. I was actually surfing in Widmouth Bay, gosh, 4 or 5 years ago, chatting to one of the guys on the back line. Best way to meet the people in Cornwall is out in the sea. And he was telling me how he's into music. It turned out his brother Pete lives up on the road there, just up on the hill above the beach, and 2 sons, Joss and Ruben, who are the fantastic surfers. Spoken to them a couple of times, lovely, lovely guys. Really the heart and soul of the community, just meeting people and connecting with them like that. Really, really is wonderful. So we're going to have a fantastic evening. We're going to have a great time. We're going to meet Beth and her mum Jenny this afternoon between 3 and 5, because they're mad community people, MAD. They're making a difference, and they've worked at Eden Project and they're working all over. So absolutely fantastic. Absolutely delighted to be here in North Cornwall on the coast. Look at that view, unbelievably stunning. Here last summer, just happened to be down and on a bit of a tour doing some pop-ups. Did a pop-up at the Puffle Cuckoo Revel, which is lovely. Let a rocket off there and chatted to some locals. And as we came back through a place down the coast called Widmouth Bay, we saw somebody was getting his tractor ready. Count Skylarkin, Disco Shed, DJing for us next Saturday night in Oxford, but today we're in Bude with DJ J at the Beach House. Check us out later on, but get this in here. Absolutely amazing mega mix. Count Skylarkin, Disco Shed, Missy Elliott and Jackie Wilson, hold tight.
If you love it, holla at me one time. Holla at me if you want the wickedest wine. I know it's been a while, but baby, never mind. Cause tonight me I give you the whole 9, yo. Satisfaction a every girl dream. Me love to put it on, make them wriggle and scream. Me get a call from Sexy Maxine. She leave a message from me inside machine. She said, "Ladies, that's your shit." People you know, me and Timberland been hot since 20 years ago. What the dealio? Now what the drillio? If you wanna battle me, then let me know. Hello, got the feeling, son. Let me throw you some. People, here I come. Let's swap me when I'm done. We got the radio shook like we got it done. Lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up with my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore.
So here we are at Bude Carnival, and I've just come across an absolute legend here. Only Margaret from the caravan up there at Northcote. Margaret, what were you doing? You've got your brass or your gold. What are you up to?
I'm the president of the carnival. I'm very proud. We've just come finished carnival. We have had the best carnival ever, and it's been a brilliant day. And now I'm at the Brendan with this lovely, lovely van.
Yeah.
And
I've come all the way from London, and I'm at Notting Hill Carnival next weekend, and we're here at Bude Carnival this weekend. So why don't you come up to Notting Hill Carnival for an ease up with us next week? Do you fancy that, or have you got a tea shop to run?
I think I've got a tea shop to run. I will now.
Go and get yourself a sherry, Margaret. Lovely.
Take care. Bye now.
Wow, utter legend there, Margaret. Margaret's tea shop from Northcote Beach. Just fantastic. That is what this is all about. The art of community, the art of connections, the art of generosity, the art of warmth, the art of lovely, 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 lovely people like Margaret. That's what this is all about, and that's why we're here. That's why we're delighted to be kicking this tour off at one end of the country and going to the other. We're here in Cornwall today. We're back at 2 o'clock for 20 minutes. We're then here 3 till 5 with our Art Connect show, and then tonight we're smashing it down the Beach House. This show, the whole day, is dedicated to the memory of Margaret Frost and people like her who are making a difference in whatever they do, whether it's making jam teas and cream teas, whether it's running carnivals, or whether it's whatever they're doing. We're running a book fest in 2 weeks, the Hey Book Fest, hashtag Hey Kids Book Fest. Doing that as a collaboration with a wonderful young teacher called Richard Simpson from the Isle of Wight. And we launched that alongside our launch event that launched the whole tour last weekend in Parliament, in the Houses of Parliament. We got into a little bit of trouble, so we had to go and put a pretend sign up on that Big Ben, just so everybody knew it was pretend and it wasn't real, because the government do get a bit shirty about that. And this is what happened. Oh, this is pretty scary up here. Take those down now. I don't think we need that. So we'll just catch that, Dave. Yep. Sorry, mate. Oh, sorry, Birdman. Birdman on the loose in Westminster. I want to talk to you about books just really quickly. I mean, this is a book that I'm particularly fond of at the moment. David Almond, My Dad's a Birdman. We're going to be announcing a massive book thing in the next few minutes, so stay with me. I love this book. This is a book about a dad after my heart. Dad is building a pair of wings, eating flies and feathering his nest. Auntie Doreen is getting cross and making dumplings. Mr. Poop is parading the streets, shouting louder and louder. And even Mr. Mint, the head teacher, is getting in a flap. And watching it all is Lizzie, missing her mum. No, not even missing her mum, missing her mam. And looking after Dad and thinking how beautiful the birds are. What's behind it all? It's the Great Human Bird Competition, of course. And that book is such an inspiration for me. It's a book about a dad who's a bit crazy, acts a bit crazy, to inspire his kids, to inspire other kids. He wants to fly over the River Tyne. He's covered himself in feathers. Very Icarus-y. So what's it all about? Well, we've got a book thing going on. I mean, I've got my favourite t-shirt on here. This was inspired by this book, the Seth Godin book, The Icarus Deception. And I know a few of you out there are fans of this, people like David Waring up there in Chester. And there's a lovely little piece in this, The Icarus Deception. It's about Icarus, as you know, the Greek myth, the boy who was told not to fly too close to the sun because his wings might melt. The boy who was told not to fly too close to the water because he might get wet and drown. He was given rules and to fly within those. And we've got to help our kids fly high. We've got to help them aim high. We've got to help them find their passion. We call it their art. And in this book, Seth Godin talks about art is frightening. Art isn't pretty. Art isn't painting. Art isn't something you hang on the wall. Art is what you do when we're truly alive. If you've already decided that you're not an artist, it's worth considering why you made that decision and what it might take to unmake it. If you've announced that you've no talent in anything, then you're hiding. Art might scare you. Art might bust you. But art is who we are and what we do, and art is what we need. An artist is someone who uses bravery, insight, creativity and boldness to challenge the status quo. And an artist takes it all of it, the work, the process, the feedback from those we seek to connect with, very personally. Art isn't a result, it's a journey. The challenge of our time is to find a journey worthy of your heart and your soul. The 24th of April, we're going to be doing the Hey Kids Book Festival. And today, I'm launching the Pass a Kids book thing. So one of the books that's really inspired me is this book. And if you know anything about me, you'll know about this book. Rocket Boys, a story of 4 boys growing up in West Virginia in the 50s, didn't want to be coal miners, saw the Sputnik satellite and learnt to make rockets and ended up working for NASA. And Homer Hickam, the author of this book, sold millions of copies all over the world. Homer Hickam, the author of this book, has agreed to be the patron of our Rocket Kids Club, which is an incredible honour. One of the things we want to do with our Hey Book Festival, Hey Kids Book Fest, is to inspire people to share their love of reading, to share their favourite books. And I'm working with Rich Simpson, who's a fantastic primary teacher down there on the Isle of Wight, who I met when we did the when we did an Isle of Wight art takeover. He had a really obvious passion for books. It was incredible how he was inspiring his Year 6 kids down there in his school. So what I propose today is that we start a hashtag Pass a Kids book. And I'm going to chuck this book down to Rich Simpson, down there in the Isle of Wight somewhere, I think over that way somewhere. I'm going to chuck, or is it over there? Maybe over there. I'm going to chuck this book over to Rich Simpson and hope you can catch it. Catch this, Rich. Oh, there we go.
Well, thanks for the recommendation, Nick. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Everybody I've given a copy of the Rocket Kids book. I would love you to make a film of you catching that book, picking up a book that you're going to pass on and pass it off the screen, and let's do one of those keepy uppy but with books to celebrate children's reading, to celebrate children's literature. And the people I'd love to see involved in this would be David Waring up there in Cheshire. I'd love to see Simon Kidwell involved. Simon Smith over in Whitley Bay, who's fantastic with his picture book work, and I'd love to see a 60-second film by any of those people with those books. Dave Shakeshaft, Chris Tolson, Chris Dyson, Rachel Snake, all these people I've given a copy of this book to. I'd love to know what you think, and share, spread the love. I'm trying to think of that lovely head teacher at Woodlands Primary in Chester, actually I gave a copy to on her birthday, so I want to see you give us one of these. So pass the book, that's what that's all about there. So there you have it, the Hay Book Fest, the Art of Bude. We are live back here at 2 o'clock, and if I was any sort of pro, maybe I'd have that screen ready. Yeah, I have. I just press that button and that's going to go to that. There we go. I'm even more organised than I thought I was. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you at 2 o'clock. Again 3 till 5 and again tonight 7 till 11 and Somerset tomorrow. Thanks very much. In fact, let's have some of this. In fact, let's rewind. Let me show you this. I talked to Margaret a minute ago last summer about the Notting Hill Carnival, and this is what happened when we went to Notting Hill Carnival. The carnival was cancelled the other day, but we're going to see if we can get a special announcement. In fact, that's reminded me, I'm going to Skype somebody this afternoon, 3 till 5, a legend, an utter legend of Notting Hill Carnival. Let's build these connections between Bude Carnival and Notting Hill Carnival. Let's show the power of art to inspire our kids, to create careers, power the economy, and to connect our communities. Let's connect Notting Hill with Cornwall later today. Check this out. That's a bit quiet, isn't it? Cool. Tell him to get that edge. Get that end. That's it. Oh, all right. You probably heard Notting Hill Carnival's been cancelled. Well, they can lock us down, but they cannot lock us in. We're up, we've got an Arts Council grant. We're talking to some people. We've had some meetings today. We've met some pioneers, and we're going to do something massive for Carnival from our community lock-in as part of the UK Art Takeover. Watch this space. Take that, Dave.
It might not work, but here's the thing. The guy who invented the ship also invented the shipwreck. And either you're in or you're out. Either you want to play this game or you don't. Art doesn't work because we did something conventional and predictable, and here it is industrialized, right? Art works because we connect.
So the festival that we will be organising in 2022 is a festival of creativity in its broadest sense. So what we're looking for is events that will help to bring people together and show the value of art.
An event like this is absolutely overdue. Being from a working class family as well, we've never had access to the arts.
I think this is amazing, and we should encourage Nick to do more of this so that we can connect Brent through art. Is actually amazing.
Well, a lot of schools have taken music out of their curriculum, and I find that really important.
This book is going to change lives. There are 7 stories.
Keep doing what you're doing. I love your passion. Please keep doing what you're doing, inspiring the kids. I think it's great. Not enough parents spend enough time with the kids. They leave them on the iPads and things like that, and I absolutely love it. Keep doing what you're doing. I love your passion.
Boys will be boys, better let them have their toys. Girls will be girls, cute ponytails and curls. Must put an end to this stress and strife. I think I want to live that sporting life.
I'm going to make it happen for you, Nick.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm going to make it happen for you because what you're doing is, in the end, absolutely brilliant.
I had the idea of getting a big screen to come here and celebrate. And I did a thing called a crowdfunder. I said to lots of people, I only gave myself 24 hours, and they said, you'll never do it.
I think creativity is absolutely everything, you know, to secure the jobs for the future.
Niall, what does collaboration mean to you?
For me, collaboration is everything. So my whole life is a collaboration.